Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, High Officers of the University, on behalf of Dean and Chapter, a very warm welcome to Guildford Cathedral.
Jonathan, thank you for your welcome, and thank you again for letting us use this beautiful cathedral for our ceremony today. I'm delighted as the Vice-Chancellor of Roehampton University to welcome all of you to today's degree ceremony. And I'm particularly pleased to welcome our honorary graduate today, Sami Yusuf, and his family. I now call upon the Dean of the School of Human and Life Sciences, Michael Barham, to present Sami Yusuf for the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, graduands. Our honorary graduand today has sold nearly 7 million albums worldwide. He has performed to audiences of up to 250,000 people and has featured in media across the world, including the BBC, CNN, Time magazine, and the Guardian newspaper, which stated in a feature in 2007, he has good claim to being the most famous British Muslim in the world. He is also an advocate for peace and dialogue and a campaigner against oppression and injustice. He is Sami Yusuf. Sami was born in 1980 in Tehran. Just a few years later, his parents moved to West London, where he grew up, first in Southall and then Ealing. His family was a musical one. His father is a notable composer, singer and poet, who Sami credits as his main influence. It was through his father he gained his musical knowledge, developing a significant understanding of both Western and Middle Eastern musical styles, and becoming adept at a range of instruments, including the piano and Middle Eastern instruments such as the oud, the tombak and the tabla. He also became a confident singer, the many years of singing in church choirs being an excellent training for him, and a time he still recalls with fondness. By the time Sami was 15, he was acting as a producer for a range of artists, and Sami retains a love of the studio environment. Soon he had moved from production to live performance and began composing his own work. His dislike for the excesses and negative aspects of the music industry almost led him to quit and to pursue another career. However, he was convinced instead to reconcile his music and his chosen faith, Islam, and to continue to write, produce and perform music. This proved to be a wise decision. In 2003, he released his debut album, Al-Mu'allim, a variation on Nasheed's Islamic-oriented songs. The album was written and produced by Sami. It very quickly became a massive worldwide success, selling in excess of 3 million copies and catapulting him to international acclaim. 2 years later, in 2005, his second album, My Ummah, was released, encompassing an array of musical genres and significantly increasing the repertoire of instrument styles on his debut record. The album matched its predecessor's commercial success. A mark of this success is that one of the tracks on this album, Hassi Rabi, became the biggest selling download in the Arab world. His conversion to Islam has deeply influenced the direction his life has taken. Despite having achieved significant levels of fame in countries across the Middle East, reflected in the huge audiences he has drawn in countries such as Turkey or the crowds mobbing him on the streets of Cairo in Egypt, he remains a resolutely grounded person, a devoted husband to his wife Christine, and an individual committed to fostering peace and tolerance, ensuring he makes a positive impact on society. As a musician and artist, Sami makes it very clear that he doesn't like to be pigeonholed. His forthcoming album seeks to diversify his music, to encompass different styles and to redefine people's perception of his work and his output. His desire as an artist not to be stereotyped reflects his own attitude to the wider world. He is passionately committed to encouraging greater dialogue between the Islamic world and the Western one. He is committed to ensuring that British Muslims develop an identity that is progressive and positive and is seen as such, and that misconceptions and mutual distrust are banished. He is also passionate that music transcends religion, nationality and race, and is therefore a great instrument for bringing together people from diverse backgrounds to encourage mutual understanding and tolerance. He is highly active in charity and development work, travelling globally to raise awareness and frequently large amounts of money for victims of conflict and injustice. In October 2007, Sami travelled to Sudan and visited orphanages to raise awareness for sick children and AIDS victims in the region. This was after performing a sell-out concert at Wembley, where all profits went to Islamic relief to help the crisis in Darfur. In January this year, he travelled to Turkey to attend a campaign by Emin Erdogan, wife of the Turkish Prime Minister, to call for a halt to the conflict. 1 month later, he took part in a telethon to raise money for the bereaved and destitute of Gaza. To date, over $100 million has been raised. Sami attributes his success to a large degree to his education. This is reflected in another major charity role he undertakes as the first global ambassador to be invited to represent Silatech. This is a social enterprise in which the university's chair of council, Sir David Bell, is a key member. It seeks to enhance opportunities for young people in the Arab world to find work and to improve employment rates for groups that may be held back by traditional attitudes and restrictions. And obviously this particularly affects women. During his 2006 US tour, America's influential Time magazine dubbed Sami Islam's biggest rock star. A year later, he played a concert in Istanbul to an audience of 250,000 people. His third album will no doubt take his reputation even higher. Less than 2 months ago, he played a headline concert at the World Sacred Music Festival in Morocco. Of course, it was a sellout. So many people were disappointed that Sami offered a free concert the next evening in Fez, and 100,000 delighted fans were entranced by his skillful performance. However, his fame, financial success and acclaim have not led him to waver from his faith or from his dedication to working to help promote social justice and interfaith dialogue. Chancellor, with the international reputation that we have at Roehampton for our postgraduate programmes and research in music education, music psychology and music therapy, and bearing in mind the origins of 3 of our 4 colleges, it is appropriate and timely to link the name of the university with a performer and composer who has been at the leading edge of developments in creating a new music form that unites the spiritual with the popular, Middle Eastern and Western musical styles. He embodies 3 of the key themes of the university: creativity, well-being and social justice, and his music has delighted audiences worldwide. Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present Sami Yusuf as eminently worthy of the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.